This is Good Morning San Diego.
Still ahead on Good Morning San Diego, we now know home prices in San Diego can be out of reach for many folks. Others say there's a way to lower those prices.
After the break, I will be chatting with real estate broker Mark Powell on what he thinks can be done to make housing more affordable. That is the big question. We'll answer that when Good Morning San Diego returns. Home affordability in San Diego has been an issue many feel strongly about. Real estate broker Mark Powell believes the solution involves privatizing the permitting process, among other things. He joins us now with more on the topic. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Allie. How are you?
I'm doing well. So you actually wrote an op-ed talking about this topic. And so tell me, first of all, we all know that home prices have continued to skyrocket. And everybody says, I don't know how many years I've heard, the bubble's going to burst. It's going to burst. And it feels like it never really has. So are we going to ever see that happen? Or are we just going to kind of continue along this trend?
Well, we don't really know whether this bubble is going to burst. It may or it may not. Nobody has a crystal ball. But what we do know is home prices in the last year have increased by 15%. And we also know that our elected officials tout every year when they're running for office that they're going to have plans to make homes more affordable. Yet that hasn't happened. In fact, homes have increased in price. Like I said, they've been up about 15% over the last year. Currently, the median home price is $750,000. You have to make about $140,000 to be able to afford the median home price or average home price. But there are ways to make homes more affordable, but it's a multifaceted approach. And first, you start off by privatizing the permit process. And Phoenix, Arizona just did that. I can explain to you exactly how they did it.
Right. So tell me a little bit about, because this goes back to essentially starting at the permit process, starting at the building process, right?
Correct. Currently, if you want to have a room addition or build a house or build a granny flat, you have to go into the city permit office and have your permits approved. Now, when COVID was occurring, what would happen was they would go in there and take their plans, drop them off in a room, and then leave. This process could take up to 6 months. Every day it takes to build a house or get your permits approved increases the cost of the house. So what Phoenix, Arizona did was they trained architects and civil engineers in the permit process that the city uses. So they are able to self-certify their own permits and that walk out the same day. They've streamlined it to increase by about 20% of the number of building permits over the course of the last year.
Wow. And so what other ideas do you have? So say you get the permit process streamlined. What else can they do to work on trying to make things more affordable here?
Well, like I said, it's a multi-tiered approach. What the second thing they have to do is waive permit fees for the construction of granny flats. As you know, as we age and get older, and like I'm 60 now, which is hard to believe, but as we get older and we're on fixed incomes, we may need a place to rent or live that's less expensive than your house. Granny flats are a great option, but the cost to build a granny flat is still expensive with all of the fees for wood, lumber, plywood. So what you can do, what the city can do, is they can't control what the fees are for plywood or lumber, but they can control the fees for the permit process, which sometimes can eat up 35 to 50% of the building costs. So can you imagine if you can reduce the cost to build by 35 to 50%? That would substantially reduce the cost of building and make it more affordable. I'm not saying that everybody's going to absolutely be able to qualify for a home, but with rent at $2,600 a month on average, we need to start building some affordable housing and waive those exorbitant permit fees.
Now, I like the idea of granny flats, except for a lot of the lot sizes in San Diego have been shrinking. So some places, there's no way that you would even have the space to be able to do that.
No, so what you have to do then is you have to go to another approach where you incentivize developers and builders to build affordable housing in San Diego. It's very expensive here to build in San Diego. So one way to do that is giving them tax breaks. So by giving tax breaks to affordable housing projects, now these projects would have to be approved by the city, that could also reduce the amount of money spent on building. And as you reduce building costs, you make homes more affordable. So we're not saying that, or I'm not saying that you're going to make homes affordable for everybody. But what we have to do is start looking at ways to make them more affordable. And there are ways out there. Other cities are doing it, and we can do that too. San Diego is America's finest city. We have the ability to do that. We just need our elected officials to take those bold moves and actually implement these strategies so that we can make homes affordable for our service providers, our people who work in restaurants, in the hospitality industry. Can you imagine if over 50% of your mortgage or rent payment is for your house? That means that you have to make decisions such as, am I going to be able to buy food or pay for medical care? These are all tough decisions that people have to make when it comes to paying rent or other options like a good option is eating, wouldn't you think? I need to put food on my table.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we appreciate, Mark, you coming in, providing your insight for us this morning with some very good ideas. So thank you. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, and thank you, KUSI, for letting me get this out there. And maybe our elected leaders will listen to this and look into making housing more affordable by privatizing the permitting process.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would like it to be a little more affordable. Thanks, Mark.
Yes, you're welcome.